moment we can't is when we know we failed. There's probably a list that none of us knows about that most of us viewing this video are already on. We'll be stacking bodies like the Founding Fathers. Don't let the fact that they have unconstitutional laws stop you from carrying. There will come a time where they will be needed. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. The Second Amendment was not made for the hobbyist or the collector. There has got to be diplomacy. All right, guys, welcome back to the Prepared Citizen YouTube channel. This is where I kind of go to rant, tackle all sorts of EDC reviews and Pro 2A content. If y'all like this type of content, stick around. There's more to come. Today, I'm diving into my personal 2A philosophy. This is how I view the world, how I view the country, and how I view the Second Amendment specifically. First, I just want to read it. The Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A couple of key phrases that get argued over. Shall not be infringed and well-regulated militia. In order to have a good conversation, I believe it is very important to define terms. So, shall not be infringed, in my mind, and to the best of my abilities to study out the definitions of this word and how it was used in those times, literally means you can't mess with it at all. You cannot change it, you cannot regulate it, you cannot infringe upon the right of the people to keep and bear arms in any way. It shall not be infringed. Number two, well-regulated militia. A lot of people like to say, oh, they want it to be regulated. They want it to be watched and written down and registries and everything else. That's not what it means. A well-regulated militia in 1791 meant a well-trained, highly trained fighting force. A well-regulated militia is a well-trained militia. That's what regulated means. Not that you have to enforce regulations upon it, but that there must be a highly trained fighting force because that is necessary for the security of a free state. So, with those being in mind, and like I've always said, feel free to get in the comments and disagree with me. I'll do my best to defend my points of view in the comments. If y'all want to have a debate about it, I'd love to get in the comments and talk to you about it. That's how I see it. That's how I read it. With that being said, I have 4 rules that I try to abide by so that I am upholding the Second Amendment and what the Founding Fathers wanted it to accomplish to the best of my abilities. Number 1, I'm trying to be prepared and proficient. That's number 1. Prepared, proficient. One without the other is useless. Just like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. Preparedness without proficiency is dead. You must be prepared and proficient. Got to have both. For me, that means have the right stuff to protect myself and my family in case of an emergency. And I'm not just talking about invasion from Russia or China or Mars. I'm talking about a natural disaster, a tornado, a hurricane, a rainstorm, a flood. Any one of those things can be jarring in and of itself to the point where you need these resources. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about being prepared for. Not just civil war or an invasion or a revolution or anarchy. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I would just rather be prepared for something that never happens than not be prepared and it does happen. So, number 1, prepared and proficient. Have the gear, know how to use it. Number 2, you be intentional and responsible. In my opinion, the Second Amendment protects all gun owners, but it was not made for the hobbyist or the collector. It was made for those who knew what the Second Amendment was there for. The Second Amendment exists solely so that the people of a country can protect themselves from tyrannical government. The Founding Fathers had just finished evicting a tyrannical government from the United States. They had just finished that. They were not thinking, hey, let's protect those who like these things. The Founding Fathers were saying, if these people do not have these tools, they will be taken advantage of eventually because power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's a fact. That's human nature. So whether it's in my lifetime or 10 generations from now, there will come a time where they will be needed. That's why the Second Amendment exists. That is why it's our responsibility to know how to use them and be willing to use them if the time comes, Lord forbid. So with that in mind, I think it is most important to be intentional and responsible with your purchases so that you have what you need in case that time comes in your lifetime. Like I said in the video, 5 guns you need and some you don't Don't go out and buy 10 ARs because you can, unless you've got your other bases covered. Where are you going to get water from? Not for the next 3 days, but for the next 3 months. Those are big questions that can really ruin your week if you don't have them covered. So be intentional and be responsible. Number 3, this is a term that I heard spoken about on the Dirty Civilian podcast. Go check them out if you don't subscribe to them already. They're worth listening to. Aggressive compliance. This was kind of revolutionary to me when I first heard it. I was pretty much of the mindset, I'd rather not have a tool than have my name on a list because I bought the tool. But if everybody has that mindset, then they've already won. Don't break laws, but don't let those laws stop you. One of the reasons I don't have a suppressor yet is they're expensive. The other reason is I didn't really want my name on a list. The truth of the matter is there's probably a list that none of us knows about that most of us viewing this video are already on. And also, if we're all on the list, then it becomes so difficult to track and so overwhelming for them that it doesn't really matter anymore. So if you have let the $200 tax stamp or the registry stop you from owning an SBR, an SBS, a suppressor, or any other NFA item that you deem is a viable tool, don't anymore. If it's purely financial, I get it, wait for a sale. But in my mind, there's no excuse to not have them at this point, especially since if we all have them, then the list becomes obsolete at that point. So aggressive compliance. Don't break a law. Don't constitutional carry in a state that doesn't allow it. But don't let the fact that they have unconstitutional laws stop you from carrying. Go get your concealed carry license and then carry. Don't let the fact that they have unconstitutional magazine ban laws keep you from carrying the gun you want. Just spend a little extra and buy the 10 round or the 15 round magazine and then carry. You can't let them stop you because that's what they want. The end goal of the gun laws is complete and total control. They're limiting our resources. It's a siege on our rights. Don't break laws. Don't let laws stop you. Finally, aware and accountable. Don't be uninformed about what's going on around you. It is our duty to stay caught up on local and national news so that we know the cultural and political climate of the country in which we live. The Founding Fathers were not just stacking bodies immediately when they got upset over a 2% tax. They were first and foremost, for years, ambassadors to their local and national level governments, trying to make a difference, ambassadors for peace and for compromise for years and years and years before picking up arms and fighting a tyrannical government. They fought for change in every way except for physical warfare as long as they could. And when it became clear that there was no other option, then they picked up arms. That's our job, is to emulate their example and do the best that we can do to do it even better than they did if the time comes. We have to remember that whether we like them or not, these will be our countrymen. If it comes down to it, it'll be countrymen against countrymen. So we don't need to spread the hate or say, oh, we'll be stacking bodies like the Founding Fathers. There has got to be diplomacy. There's got to be responsibility, not just an excuse to pick up arms against another man. You got to have a reason why you're doing it, and you have to be able to defend that reason in public. That's the beauty of public discourse. That's the beauty of debate, conversation. That's the beauty of an old school courtyard. The Founding Fathers would always go to the courtyard, gather there, talk about new ideas, debate, argue, talk. As a country, we must be able to talk our problems out. And the moment we can't is when we know we've failed. That's all I got for y'all today. Get out there, have some conversations with people you do or don't agree with. Have a civil debate, promote civil discourse, promote peace, promote good ideas, and I'll see y'all on the next one.